Boston Brian here from the MeidasTouch Network, and I know everybody's probably a little frustrated that we didn't see any action today, but that's okay. Just means that Treason Week gets a little bit longer. It also makes it a little easier to have people like Ben, Popak, Karen, Michael Cohen himself on the MeidasTouch Network to give us the most up-to-date legal information on this situation. I can tell you one guy who's probably not getting the best legal advice and most up-to-date information on this situation, and that's Donald Trump, because even though he didn't get handed down an indictment today, that didn't stop him from flipping his lid on his Truth Central or Truth Social or whatever the hell that shitty website is called. But before I read you the insanity that is Donald Trump's mind, can I just say what an absolute pleasure it has been to see the meltdowns that has come from all over the right-wing hemisphere? It's just amazing to watch the same party that chanted lock her up for 6 years lose their goddamn minds over somebody being held accountable for a crime they actually committed. You have everybody in the Republican Party, from pundits to politicians, either calling for the straight-up arrest of Alvin Bragg or threatening the arrest of high-level politicians in the future if it were to come to that, if the Republican Party were ever to get back in the White House. I mean, these people have turned into literal fascists because they cannot handle the fact that their dear leader might get in trouble for something that he did. Here's Charlie Kirk threatening to arrest Democrats in the future if they ever were to get back into power, and basically calling it a game between Republicans and Democrats to see how many high-level politicians can be arrested.
I say, hey, for all the Democrats out there watching, when we start perp walking all your favorite Democrats, you're not allowed to complain. Okay, you're done. You've lost all rights to complain. If you indict Donald Trump, when we finally got our act together and we get attorneys general that are not a waste of rations, and we start all of a sudden putting, top-level Democrats in handcuffs, and we just start going in subpoenas, you guys are done. You have to take it. That's the new America is who can put the most amount of political opponents in jail. I guess that's the new contest, right?
All right, Chucky, let me see if I got this right. So because Donald Trump broke campaign finance laws to pay a porn star to keep her silent because he doesn't want his family to know because his wife was either pregnant or just had a baby at the time, you think that gives you the right to lock up and jail any political opponent you have on no legal basis whatsoever? But I guess that tracks from the guy who also said this once.
I have been on the record, and I'll say it again, democracy is a bad idea. We are not a democracy.
And listen, as somebody that studies and appreciates history, I don't throw out the word fascist that easily, but I don't know what the hell else you'd call that. I mean, it really is just incredible to hear them say the quiet part out loud. I mean, here's Chucky's guest just saying that they should just remove the power from all the district attorneys that are going after Donald Trump, like the ones down in Georgia.
And so what we need to do is fight back. Let's look at down in Georgia, if this Fulton County DA is going to go after Trump, maybe the Georgia legislature, maybe the Georgia governor, maybe they should take away the power from these local DAs.
It's amazing that one man facing accountability for just one of the criminal activities that we know he's committed in his lifetime just makes these people go off the deep end. Like here, who the hell believes that Roger Stone and Donald Trump actually prayed on the phone together? I mean, listen to this nonsense.
As I said earlier, I spoke to him Sunday morning. He called me. We prayed together on the phone. He was in an excellent mood. He is a man completely without fear because he puts his faith in the Lord.
You know what, Roger, you're right. It's just remarkable. I am always bumping into Donald Trump at Sunday Mass. I mean, half the time I can't get a seat on the pew because his whole family has the whole thing taken up. And we all know that Donald Trump and his family are the first people we think of if we need a spiritual awakening. But what's even better about this whole indictment thing, even though it hasn't dropped yet, is the infighting it has created in the Republican Party. This is one of those moments in time where the Republicans really have to walk on eggshells and be careful what they say, because any slip-up can and will be held against them in the court of Donald Trump, not the court of law. Remember, you're either all for Donald Trump or you're all against Donald Trump. There is no middle ground with this guy. And it looks like after his comments the other day at his press conference, Ron DeSantis is the piñata for the Republican Party. Here's Matt Gaetz taking 5 minutes off from sending Venmo payments to take his shot at Ron DeSantis.
Well, if I were governor of Florida, I would not allow any Floridian to be hauled before some Soros-backed prosecutor in some blue city over politics, and I wouldn't make an exception to not protect the President of the United States. Ron DeSantis should be standing in the breach to stop any sort of extradition of President Trump from the state of Florida, and the fact that he's not doing so puts every Floridian at risk who could be the subject of a false allegation.
Oh no, you heard that right. The party of small government would like the government to step in and stop legal proceedings from happening. And they take it even further than that. Here's Chucky Kirk again, who adds to his long list of bad ideas, asking for Ron DeSantis to create a sanctuary state for Donald Trump in order for him to be saved somehow from his political prosecution.
Why doesn't Ron DeSantis create a sanctuary state for a former president under political persecution? If the left is able to create sanctuary states for rapists and murderers, thugs and criminals, I don't think it's too big of an ask for Ron DeSantis to create a sanctuary state for a former president who's being persecuted.
I mean, they really just want to create a place where their Führer can live and commit all the crimes he wants with no repercussions whatsoever. And listen, it would be one thing if it was just the obscure right-wing pundit spewing this bullshit, but when you have elected officials actively calling for the arrest or investigation of the Manhattan District Attorney for doing his job and holding somebody accountable, that's when you have to start to worry what these people might actually do if they get full control of the government again. People like Rand Paul, who tweeted this: a Trump indictment would be a disgusting abuse of power. And in the very next line, he writes, the DA should be put in jail. You can't write hypocrisy better than that. You really can't. Or people like Marjorie Trader Green, who tweeted this: now it's time to arrest Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg for prosecutorial misconduct after hiding hundreds of pages of exculpatory evidence. Bragg is on the verge of indicting an innocent former president and top presidential candidate against the opposing ruled party. Bragg is breaking the law and trying to incite civil unrest in his Soros-funded political war. Hold him accountable. And it doesn't end there. Jim Jordan. Democrats think it's okay for them to examine and defund local police, but not okay for Republicans to examine a local prosecutor in Manhattan abusing his power to take down a political opponent. I don't know, you'd think Jim had been in government long enough to know that he has absolutely no jurisdiction over Alvin Bragg whatsoever. And even Ronnie Jackson from Texas tweeting this: Democrats want to turn our country into a communist hellscape. Violent criminals are treated with kid gloves while the regime's political opponents get met with an iron fist. We need Trump back in the White House now more than ever. Said no sane man on this planet at any point. It really is just incredible to see the lengths that these politicians will go to defend their dear leader. I mean, don't they know that history is going to look back on this moment at some point? And when you put something out on the internet, it stays there forever. Which brings us to our main event, which is the ongoing feud and battle between Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump. And can we just point out how uncharismatic and cringeworthy Ron DeSantis is? Here he is acting pretty cowardly, in my opinion, when faced with the nicknames that Donald Trump has given him, pretty much saying he can call me whatever he wants as long as he calls me a winner.
What is your favourite nickname that Trump's given you so far? Is it Ron DeSanctimonious or Meatball Ron?
Well, I can't.
I think even he went off Meatball Ron.
I can't. I don't know how to spell DeSanctimonious. I don't really know what it means, but I kind of like it's long. It's got a lot of vowels. I mean, so we go with that. That's fine. You can call me whatever you want. I mean, just as long as you also call me a winner.
And check out this montage that Pierre's put together. Not exactly shining Ronnie in the best light.
You made a fatal error in your relationship with
What's that?
Donald Trump. You got too popular. They said you're house-trained Donald. Your Diet Coke to his full Coke. You're a wannabe autocrat. You're the Genghis Khan of social issues. Ignorant racist. A gaping bleak. I criticize you.
There you go.
You authorize the use of force feeding to detainees who are on hunger strike.
Yeah, that's not true.
What's your view of Putin?
Look, I think he's got grand ambitions.
Do you think you could beat Biden?
I think so.
Well, you took the knee, Governor.
Yeah, we did. That's the only time I take a knee is for that.
The more this feud grows, the better it is for Democrats, so I love to see it. And that brings us to the day that Donald Trump has had on social media today, and it's been quite a day, most of which was spent attacking Ron DeSantis. Like this beauty he posted, I'll put it up on the screen so you can read along with me. Ron DeSanctimonious is running without running. He's doing this to subvert election law. Run, run, run. Others have done it before, though, so I can't really blame him. But he should take a look at his polls, which are crashing like few people have ever seen before. That's because he's merely an average Republican governor who has great public relations, far better than deserved. When you look at Florida's numbers compared to other states, you will not be impressed. I will release them later in the day. Which was followed up by this rambling nonsense in regards to Ron DeSantis going on Piers Morgan's show, even though Donald Trump did Piers Morgan's show, I believe, 2 months ago. So go figure on that one. But Donald Trump said, while I am fighting against the radical left lunatics, persecutors and unfair prosecutors who want to destroy all of us. Ron DeSanctimonious is not working for the people of Florida as he should be. He is too busy chatting with ratings challengers TV host from England, desperately trying to rescue his failing campaign, but it's my fault I put him there. Trump goes on to say, Florida has been successful for many years, long before I put Ron there. It's amazing what ocean and sunshine will do. Surprise Ron was a big lockdown governor on the China virus, sailing all beaches and everything else for an extended period of time, was third worst in the nation for COVID-19 deaths, losing 86,294 people, third worst for total number of cases at 7,516,906. Other Republican governors did much better than Ron because I allowed them this freedom, never closed their states. He goes on to post a few more times, again attacking Governor DeSantis for the job he did during COVID, and then in his other one, basically calling Florida out for their ranks in health and safety in the country, their affordability, 30th in education and childcare. Hardly greatness there. The fact is, Ron is an average governor, but the best by far in the country in one category, public relations, where he easily ranks number one, but it is all a mirage. Just look at the facts and figures. They don't lie, and we don't want Ron as our president. And for some unknown reason, only he would know, Donald Trump thought it would be a good idea to post this picture of Steve Bannon, MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell, Ron DeSantis, and even a picture of himself with Stormy Daniels with the caption, Steve Bannon calls DeSantis weasel for his porn star dig at Trump. And guys, don't worry. If you thought he wasn't going to have time to grift, you were wrong. Because somehow in the middle of all this legal trouble and mess that Donald Trump is going through, he still finds the time to want to take his supporters' money out of their pockets. He tweeted or trothed a picture of this. It says, help President Trump fight back against the Soros money machine. Join now. Please make a contribution to stop Soros from securing the White House. Even Don Jr. wasn't too nervous about the indictments to get into grifter mode. He tweeted this. Angry about the BS in New York? Here's what you can do today. Stop supporting companies that fund these woke politicians. Fight back with your money. Support the parallel economy. Sign up today at Public Square, Patriot Mobile, or other sources. Now is the time. Unbelievable, but like I said before, the infighting, the grifting, the meltdowns, they're almost as much fun to watch as the indictment watch itself. It's just really hard for me to take anything that they say seriously after calling for Hillary Clinton to be locked up for the last 6 years after no evidence whatsoever has come out to suggest she committed a crime in any way. But hey, since it seems like Treason Week might be extended by a few days, all the more reason for you to subscribe to MeidasTouch to get all the political analysis, all the legal news you can possibly handle about this situation. There's a reason MeidasTouch is close to 1 million subscribers and the fastest growing pro-democracy news network in the world. So stick with us through it all. His time is coming. We are about to hold these people accountable. Let's go.
Lock him up! Indictment season is upon us. Celebrate with the new Indictment Season t-shirt and v-neck exclusively at store.meidastouch.com.